Idiot. He's trying to choke himself. Out. You alright? Billy, you alright? Dispatch, we're stopped on Willett Road. Let's go, yeah. Watch out now. Hey, give me your... Wait, Nate.
This video is of a police officer in the state of Arkansas named Joseph Tucker Harris, and he is seen on video beating the living you-know-what out of a man in the back seat of a police car. Harris, an ex-Jonesboro cop, is pictured here. He's been charged with aggravated assault and third-degree battery, along with being accused of filing a false police report. Jonesboro PD would fire him. And according to the BBC, the Jonesboro Police Department would state in a post on Facebook that the day after this incident occurred, Harris's termination was effective immediately, so this happened rather quick. The Associated Press says more. Harris was fired in August after he was caught on his patrol car camera punching, elbowing, and slamming a car door against the head of a detainee named Billy Coram, who was being transferred from a hospital back to jail in Craighead County. That lawsuit that Coram filed against Harris, along with the city of Jonesboro and the police chief over the beating, was scheduled to go to trial in May of 2026. Coram's lawsuit claims his constitutional rights were violated. Now, the latest update I came across was in July from a local outlet called KAIT8. The jury trial, according to this report, is set for the middle of November. Newsweek would add, the inmate in the back of the patrol car, named Billy Coram, had been held at Craighead County Jail on escape charges, and he's wanted on out-of-state warrants. That's per CBS News. He had been taken to the hospital after telling the staffers at the Craig County Jail he ingested fentanyl and escaped the hospital. He was caught by Harris, who put him in the squad car, and he was set to be transported back to the center. Now, there's more with Harris and his conduct. In the year 2022, the ex-cop was suspended from the police force for just 22 hours after he was caught on video throwing a man to the ground outside of a nightclub in the town. And that's according to local news reports. Then in June, Harris and a fellow officer, who is named Peyton Perkins, and the city of Jonesboro as well, were sued by the estate of a man who died in custody at the Craighead County Sheriff's Office. All right, so I know that this is rather simple. If one were to just be an empathetic, like-minded human being who doesn't like seeing others suffer. What would happen here if we lived in a proper country? This man would not get another job in the police force. Heck, he would not even get a job with a security company. Okay? What would happen is he would probably go to jail. All right? Let's do better. He would go to prison. He would go to prison for violating this man's rights if the jury were to find him guilty. And if the power of police unions were not as sufficient as they are. Because when you see all of these different unions be in cahoots with certain politicians, what you have is this blue wall of silence, where police officers are rarely, if ever, held accountable, especially for the unaliving of another human being. This video is grotesque. It is dirty, malfeasance all over the place. The fact that they stopped a car, which might have been with traffic coming towards them, just so an officer could get out of the car and beat the daylights out of somebody who probably is not mentally well, and then just go back to their job and think everything's fine. There's no accountability for a lot of these officers, and it is for a reason. It is because officers are held to a way higher standard than any of us in society. I'll give you an example. Remember when Breonna Taylor was killed in Louisville? How could you not? Brett Hankison got another job. And previously, he got another job. This is exactly the root of the problem. Charles Barkley likes to say they have to be retrained. How are you going to retrain them? How are you going to retrain all of these officers? I think there is somewhat of a duty here, but the reason that so many of these officers like to and are able to beat the you-know-what out of people is because they can. It's because the system enables them to do so. I truly believe that Harris probably thought, are you kidding me? You're going to fire me? You're going to hold me accountable? And usually what a lot of these police departments do is they buy time. And other police departments buy time. And when I say buy time, I mean there could be an officer who goes to trial, could even be found guilty, or they have him plead to lesser charges. He'll sit out for a few years, get that money that he lost on back pay with a new job, and maybe even get a raise. That is how rigged the game is here. So when I see this, all I can think of is how despicable it is. And how I hate every second of it. And yet, until there is serious systemic change in this country, it's going to be recycled over and over again.